Hello and welcome to my unboxing and first look at the Warhammer Age of Sigmar Gloomspite Gitz Endless Spells. One of these sets will set you back £22.50 and consists of 15 components and two 50mm round bases and one 60mm round base. I couldn't really resist. This is my first Endless Spells kit and definitely one of my favourites out of all of them. Really happy with these. I wasn't going to get them. I kind of have been on the fence about getting any Endless Spells because I've never been quite sure whether they're here to stay or they're just a passing fad from Games Workshop. But it seems like they've supported Endless Spells and they look really cool on the battlefield and they're going to look great with the collection too. So let's rip and tear. And we'll have a look at the reverse. Now, the interesting thing about these, compared to the other kits where there are the actual miniatures rather than scenery or Endless Spells, is that scenery and Endless Spells is made in China. It says it right there. It says designed in the UK, but then underneath they've put made in China. That's fine. I'd much rather them do that than what they did in one of the other kits where they'd put made in the UK and then they didn't put made in China anywhere on the box, but then in the instruction manual did say made in China. I think that's very misleading. But if they've got it like this, where it does say made in China, that's great. I would have preferred if the made in China was the same size, if not bigger, than where it's designed. I think Apple usually put design in California and made in China in the same size font, and they don't put a big flag or anything. But hey, you know, it's a continuous improvement, I guess. But you're getting 4 Endless Spells here. You're getting the Scuttle Tide, the Mork's Mighty Mushroom, Malevolent Moon, and Scrap Scuttle's Arachna Cauldron. Now, I got it because it's got an exploding mushroom, it's got a mini Loon Shrine moon, evil moon with fangs. It looks fantastic. And also there's a cauldron with legs. I mean, that's amazing. The spiders, yeah, they're all right. They look a bit flat, but we'll see exactly how they look. Typically, I don't think China do an amazing job with the detail on this harder sort of plastic. You know, especially if you compare the detail with, you know, the spare spiders that you get with the Arachnarok. But let's unbox this and take a look at that. So, 2 sprues, the instructions, shouldn't be too difficult to put together. So they're the sprues, they're the 3 bases. So let's have a look at the instructions first of all. 2019, Malevolent Moon, just 2 pieces, slot them together. Mushroom, 2 pieces, slot them together. You've got the smoke that's billowing out of the mushroom, again 2 pieces, pop them together. And then the Arachna Cauldron has actually got quite a few pieces here. You've got 2 for the cauldron itself, 4 rings, and then 2 sets of 4 legs. Interesting though is that you've got all of the rules there for the 4 Endless Spells, and then you've got it in the different languages too, which is great. Really big fan of that. They've all got their unique abilities and the way they work. I will be doing a review, not of each one individually. I'll be doing a review of all 4 of them as the Endless Spell set in a video once I've made them, which won't take me any more than sort of 10 minutes or so. But there you go. That's the instruction book. Nice to see all the rules in there for them. Quite straightforward. These are the bases, so 3 different size bases that you get in there. And there we go. So this is the mushroom, huge. It's got some detail, ridged. You can definitely tell it's made in China, and it's got the harder plastic because it's a darker colour. Now, I've had this question recently where someone in the Discord has asked me about a kit that they've purchased and it had this harder plastic, or the darker plastic at least, in like a normal miniature kit. Now that is quite normal for older kits. They are a little bit darker and yeah, one could assume that it's made in China, but fear not, from the best of my knowledge, I don't know that any of the like miniature kits have ever been made in China. Typically they're made in the UK, in Nottingham. It's only the scenery kits, most of the books, and these endless spells that are made in China, and you can tell with the harder plastic, and you can just, you know, tell by the lack of detail compared to if they made it in the UK. But that's the mushroom and the cauldron. Here is the scuttle tide. Again, you can tell with the detail is that if you look at the spiders' legs, they just sort of blend onto the base. There's no gap between the front legs. There's no arch, there's no gap through those legs. So I don't think it works as well. It's a terribly difficult kit to do that. Imagine having holes underneath all of them. So it's up to you whether you want to use the scuttle tide. I think they're actually the worst and the spell in this kit for looks. I like the premise of lots and lots of spiders on a base, but it just doesn't work if you haven't got the holes sort of through those in between the legs. And one could assume that there's nothing stopping you from getting an oval size base, not this really long base, but an oval size, but something like this, maybe a bit bigger, like a bigger cavalry one, and putting a load of spare spiders that you get from the Arachnarok set and calling that the endless spell. I guess they've done it this size because it's creeping along, and it gives you a sense of just how many spiders there are. But you get 2 Arachnaroks and you don't use the spiders, believe me, you've probably got about 16 spiders on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then probably about 30 or so there. You know, you've got a third or so of the spiders that are on this set, in, I'd say, again, a third of the size base. So yeah, nothing stopping you from doing that. The moon is pretty cool. I like the fang on the moon, and yeah, it looks all right. It's going to be fine, and the moon is definitely one of the highlights of the kit. But there you go. They're the 2 sprues that you get with the endless spells. I think it's an all right kit, to be fair, considering you're getting 4 different models for your £20 or so. I can only imagine how much this would cost if they made it in the UK with the better plastic. My best guess would be about £40, and that's a lot of money to sink into just some endless spells. But anyway, this is the path Games Workshop have chosen for this particular kit. I'll go away and build these, and I'll get you a full review with size comparisons and go through all of the rules. There are quite a few rules because each one of these spells has its own rules. So that video is going to be a bit of a lengthy one. But I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. And if you have, please do. And if you have, please smash that like button and subscribe. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Loom Boss protects.